by showing first is for those people who were not here earlier in the week or the first half of the week on Tuesday during Adult Heritage, it facilitated, I guess, a reflection interactive discussion with a few different prompt words. I'm going to show you the results of that, and then what I ended up doing today was looking across all three of the pictures that you will be shown and identifying words that were listed across at least two or all three of the different questions. I then grouped them together in a way that I thought made sense as a psychologist to represent Chinese family camp. The other thing I'm going to show you is something that I just put together today as my thanks and my learning from this week. So, yeah. Or,
this side can't see it.
We can't see.
well,
You can move that forward.
I think we can probably move that forward, right? I mean, I'll help you.
It's all right. It's all good. It's all good.
Let's move the two pieces.
Yeah, I think we can easily move this.
Well, when it just falls over. Yeah.
Is that better for y'all over there? Kinda? Sorta? Okay.
I'm going to take this off the stand. I'm better walking around anyway. So for those people who were not here earlier in the week, we ended up doing something called Mentimeter, which is it's a platform you can use for free, and this is something called a word cloud. So what ended up happening was I asked the people who were in attendance to access a QR code where they could answer a number of questions and around words that represent home. You're able to enter 3 different words. The way this shows up is that the words that are in the middle, that are the biggest, are the ones that the most people ended up also saying. Yes, sorry, there's feedback. / people can't see. So the ones in the middle are what you all ended up identifying multiple times across all of the different responders. Next slide. So this is the Mentimeter or word cloud that represents family. And again, these were just the adults at the beginning of the week. You can obviously see love, trust, acceptance are the most endorsed. Followed by Chinese family camp, who are we? And you can see in this slide, I find it interesting because there are actually a lot more words that mean the same thing, but in different ways. And so just acknowledging what that looks like. And so if you start to look at the answer for Chinese family camp, who are we? Now there's going to be a series of pictures.
Light.
You can just flip through them. These are just random pictures from the week that were on my phone.
Yours turn.
Okay, and so this was very intentional with elders and some people that have been here many years, looking over next generations and I would say imparting wisdom, if you will. But if we go back to the last question, it was who are we? And now I would like you to see the next slide. So again, taken from those 3 slides and all of the words that were endorsed before, these are the words that people ended up saying 2 or 3 times, possibly a lot more across all of them. And so what I ended up grouping these areas into were who you are to one another, who you really are across your family lineages and what that means, and then a lot of the heritage and space that you have created over the last 66 years. So that is that's part 1 done. You can go, yes. There's another slide. Okay. If you go to presentation. Okay. So those for those people who don't know me, as Alan said, he and I worked together at Northwestern and in reaching out to him, I shared a little bit about the project that we are endeavoring on, which involves going to China in a little less than 2 months now. And so these are just a little anecdotes of what I learned as a first-year camper. Things to know. What you will see, these are about people in space. That's a little mixed up with a bunch of things. So I don't want to go into too many details. There's way more important kids and art and history that is involved here, but you are all incredible. I can't imagine a group this size that everybody is just so caring and loving, and it's just infectious in the best way. So I want to acknowledge that. I will move again. It also, like when I think, obviously you all know I'm in academia, and when I think about acceptance, this place feels more than that. It feels truly like embracing, not just saying, you are in my space. It's just like this big old hug that you all give to anybody unconditionally, no matter how long they've been here, day 1, hour 1, minute 1, or 66 years. What I have also learned is that no matter where you come from or how you are connected or related to Chinese family camp, you are family and you always will be no matter where you are. The generational transition of leadership from elders down to preteens and younger is one of the greatest gifts both the elders give and receive to the younger campers. This probably ties better with number 1, but campers of all ages are some of the most impressive in terms of your career and family accomplishments, and probably the most humble group of very highly educated and successful professionals that I've ever encountered, and you do it in such a relaxed way. And when I'm in academia, I see a lot of not people like that, so it's so refreshing. So, more importantly, everything is organized around food, and so you're never gonna go hungry.
Yay, Helen.
This is something I learned. You all have your own approaches, but I say skip dinner, just wait for the snack. It's gonna be so good. Best food. Traditions here are everything. The heritage singing, the water and boat time, game nights, field day, arts, and our last night together festival night. And then spend time talking to everybody. You're gonna learn something from everybody. You're gonna feel good just being around everybody, and you're just gonna feel loved being in a space with one another. So, last slide. Oh, sorry, I forgot. This is really important. Bring your CFC t-shirts every year and make sure you wear them, including points for being in the scavenger hunt if you have the oldest one.
Yeah, winning team.
Yeah, Julianne wishes he was on our team. That was the name of our team, just for those people who aren't here. Okay, so this was actually just a conversation we were having at dinner, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna share a couple of things about what I learned, and I got important clarification. This is not about Chinese culture overall, it is about the Midwest Chinese family camp culture. Because what I learned is, Alan, there's a in the East Coast or New England Chinese family camp that somebody you might have gone to. So this is specific to the Midwest or beyond. Family and traditions are central to Chinese culture. Elders are respected and provide unconditional love in a way that transcends or goes beyond my own personal experience growing up in America. I had a very loving nuclear family. My extended family wasn't in touch with them the way you all are with one another. Everyone, no matter who you are, share, except for the younger generations for now, live in all of these roles. The Chinese calendar is even more influential than I know. I mean, you hear about it in social media or just kind of casual conversations, but the amount of references that were either funny or trying to really describe who a family member was more tied to who you are than I could have realized, like I said, on my own. The different generations of Chinese family camp, meaning the originators, the elders now, and so on and so forth, you've created your own culture that fosters thriving and choice. And that was a lot of the messaging I heard over the week about My parents said this, we had to become this professionally, this is what it meant to be successful. And the conversation that you shifted to when you became parents and what that means for your children. Third culture, just so you know, it's a mix of things. I know Waken was the one that brought that up earlier, but that's somewhat academic, so that's why I also just want to say your own culture. So Chinese and American cultures are very different, and the first generation families who immigrated here had to navigate and overcome a lot of challenges, which would not have been as successful. You all wouldn't be likely where you are without them, and because of that, this is true for where you are and who you are supporting for the next generation. And I think this is the last one. Acceptance, openness, patience, and communication are all are essential to understanding and learning. And I think where I saw that most was nobody was rushing to go anywhere. People wanted to finish up conversations. People wanted to still be in company with one another. And there was no, I need to go to the next thing, unless it was food related, which was really nice to be able to move into understanding and learning in a very back and forth way. With that, I say thank you. Thank you for having us. I'm sorry. This was the big finale. Last and arguably the most important, you need to come here for the whole week if you can. I'm guessing Alan and company are gonna try and plug that over the course of this evening. So.